Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming into another video. All right, so I figured I'd do a therapy session. A lot's been going on, and a lot of times when I talk about doing therapy sessions these days, I don't talk about myself, but I think I'll give it a little bit of personalization, I guess you can say. So as of late, as you guys know, I let the car go. I would say I sold my car, but that's not necessarily the accurate way of putting it. But yes, I did receive some money for my car. So nevertheless, the car is sold, and you know that situation is concluded. I don't exactly have any intentions of buying a vehicle right now, based on like $9 gas prices in my state. I'm not up for it. So I've taken that money and, of course, put it where I put everything else. And if you follow me, you know what I'm doing with that. I don't even need to mention it. you know. So at this point, I'm just trying to do my thing in that way. My ex-girlfriend came back into my life in a friendly capacity. Nothing insane, but I think at the end of the day, speaking with her kind of strummed up old stuff, had me feeling old ways. And as you guys know, if you've been following these therapy sessions long enough, I've been dealing with a lot, trying to find myself balanced emotionally, find myself balanced behaviorally. I think over this year, I had a real bad breakdown, and I think I'm in a place where I'm healing really well. So, I figured, hey, it'd be a good time to let people back into my life after being in a long, lengthy seclusion. And I think the issue with me and her is just it's a lot of unhealed wounds, a lot of baggage, a lot of disrespect in our past. We was together when we was like 23, 24, 25. Remained somewhat friends here and there, back and forth in and out of each other's life as friends, not going back to that romantic thing. But those feelings and those pains, they haven't really healed like they're supposed to. And this particular time got a little strenuous. So, it got to a point where my behavior these last couple of days kind of been all over the place. I've been having high highs, low lows, listening to her talk about what she has going on in her lifestyle. It just kind of reminded me of some things that happened in our relationship, triggering stuff. And it's sensitive because you don't want to get into other people's business, and when you want to talk about yourself, it's kind of hard not to. So I would just preface the situation by saying it's been a tug of war trying to find a way to be the friend that she's asking me to be, while still trying to figure out what it is that she actually wants from me. Now, I made the mistake of letting her know that I went through a tough time, right? And so in the way that she's describing it to me, she feels almost obligated, or it's the right thing for her to do, to try to reach out to me and make sure I'm all right. But she's calling and very regularly, all right? So my thing is, don't use my mental health situation as an excuse for wanting to reach out to me. You know what I mean? You don't have to check up on me if that's what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm fine. And if for any reason I'm not fine, it's because of your presence, bringing up old stuff, making me, kind of react to old stuff that isn't even really part of my life anymore. So that's kind of what it is for me these last couple of days. June has started off really, really volatile for your boy. So I'm just kind of trying to pick up the pieces as it pertains to all of this being thrown at me really, really fast, and just trying to reel it in, like, get it together, man. Because the thing about it is, when you find yourself overly devoted to somebody, and you give them too much of yourself, and then for whatever reason it does not work out, maybe your personality and theirs just don't mesh, and they decide that they want to do other things, and maybe you weren't ready for them to do that, but you didn't have a choice because they are who they are. They're gonna do whatever they want to do with themselves. So you just sitting there left holding the bag. It's kind of what happened to me. So it left me with some unanswered scars, some unhealed wounds rather, and unanswered questions, I guess you can say. And I think if I'm gonna hold myself accountable, I would say that in response to my feelings, I think I was a little bit out of myself as it pertains to how I spoke to her and the way that I responded to that pain wasn't good, and I think I caused a lot of pain too. So with that being said, it's a lot of damage there on her end, having to deal with me. And when she made up her mind that she was tired of that response and that energy, she was done. And in my mind, I was responding to that energy because I wasn't done. So it was like, I'm hurt here, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my pound of flesh out of you because you hurt my feelings, and a lot of stuff coming out of my mouth was just uncalled for, immature, and it is what it is. And that's another thing. When you look back on it, you see that these were two 24, 25-year-old young people who didn't have it all together, who lacked certain understandings that maybe have come about since. And I don't look at myself the same way as I looked at my, the situation or myself then. You know what I mean? I look at myself through a certain lens. So it's like, do these old wounds still hurt? Yeah. But do I harbor the same anger with them? Of course not. It's that kind of thing. So what I've just asked her to do is just protect against the irrational ways of my current state of mind as I deal with all that I've been dealing with over the last several years in a very sensitive time right now. So it's like, if you're going to be my friend and you're trying to see to the betterment of my mental health, let's try to keep the conversation in some places that respect that. And I didn't receive that respect. That's what it really came down to. I didn't receive that respect, and I told her I didn't appreciate what I was getting from her, and that, I didn't have, I didn't feel like I was being respected. And we've had some good conversations because of it. I think, I have an understanding of where she's at and what she wants. She has an understanding of what I'm dealing with and what I'm struggling with and what needs to happen in order for us to be cool. And she also understands what I don't want in regards to, and maybe I'm wrong for this. Somebody, I think it varies from person to person, but I personally don't want to be friends with somebody that I was close to in that way. Somebody that I was taking very seriously, someone I was in a relationship for many years. I don't think friendships, close friendships where you confide in one another about, each other's love life or each other's personal life, like she likes to confide in me about, I don't really appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because of the nature of our past and the unanswered, unhealed, what have you. And because she has a different point of view and she sees me as friend, it's like, I could tell you anything. You have experienced certain things with me, so you could probably relate and laugh about certain things that me and that person have gone through. And it's like, I can't receive it that way. For whatever reason, I don't receive her information, her business, in a way that is nonchalant and laughy, right? Now, I made the mistake of and laughing when she was telling me some stuff that I didn't really like hearing. And that was because I was trying to not come off as somebody who was as sensitive as I actually am to the stuff that she was saying. That was a mistake. Because I opened the door for what it is that I ultimately didn't appreciate. So that's something I had to own. But at the same time, it's like, now that we've had discussion, when she decides to revisit certain topics, I get upset or just try to put an end to it early. So that's created some disconnect because now she feels like she can't necessarily speak the way she wants to. She feels like I'm not being as open as I normally am. And my thing is, well, because you've made some things clear to me this time that maybe I wasn't as clear on before, and because I'm so clear on those things, I'm trying to find a new way to approach. You know what I mean? Because when you make certain declarations, it's like, all right, well, now let me live in this new space. I can't say this because that person would, the person that I was when saying those things had a different understanding about what would be otherwise coming back my way in terms of energy. Certain stuff now ain't gonna be received the same way because now the new information of what you got going on helps me understand that, I shouldn't say certain things. It's not gonna be received positively. It's not gonna be received in a way that it otherwise would have if the dynamic were as it was. So once you tell me, hey, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going, this is what I want, this is what I don't, don't expect me to continue to behave as if those things weren't said to me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where the confusion is. I don't know where she is in terms of, why she's doing certain things. I know what she's saying she's doing, which is basically catching up on me and making sure I'm good, making sure that I'm, she feels obligated to make sure I'm fine. And my thing is always going to be, I'm a prayerful person. I'm in the middle of a long journey, 37 years thus far, whatever's next. I've kind of lived alone for almost 12 years. Don't really have people check up on me like that, so I appreciate people checking up on me, but I don't require it. I'm a lone wolf, always have been. She understands that to a degree. And so it's like, if you're going to check up on me, understand that, I'm going to now have to work you into the equation in order for that to happen. There are things I do with my time that don't involve being on the phone, that don't involve sitting on hold while you do whatever it is that you're doing on your own time. Stuff like that, it takes away from my happiness. So if I'm answering the phone, it's because I'm being unselfish. You see what I'm saying? It's just because I want to make you feel like you're needed, because that's obviously something that you're doing here. Because I never said I needed anything, and she's feeling the need to reach out. So me as her friend kind of wants to help her feel needed, because it seems to me she needs that at this time. But she's not one of those introspective people who's going to look deep into her own self to know why she does certain things. And because I'm always looking inside myself, trying to figure out why I do certain things, it doesn't vibe well. It doesn't vibe well, and so I think that's what it is. I'm too much for this individual, always was. I'm always doing a lot in my head, and she's trying to just make things easy, simple, and manageable, because her strengths are in different areas. She's got a lot going on, so when she deals with her dude, it's got to be easy going. And so I ain't that, period. I'm just not that. So for whatever reason, she's still drawn to this energy, though, whatever it is I provide. But she's not the type of person who's going to let me know that it's anything positive about me that draws her toward me. So I'm always sitting here trying to deal with the fact, all right, well, she ain't into me, even though she constantly hounded me and was literally in love with me when we were kids. But whatever. Now I'm like literally more confident in myself, got a lot more going for myself than I was when she was with me. But it's just a weird kind of dynamic to where I have more confidence in myself now, but she's kind of still the same person, kind of sees me as who I was. And so I just kind of don't really behave the way that she's used to me behaving, I guess. And it's irritating her. So it's like, look, maybe she's used to me going back and forth and bantering back and forth. I cut conversations off early. If I think this is about to become an argument of some sort, I'm going to nip it right here. Before it gets to that point, I'm going to have it cut, because I've already been down some of these roads with this person, and I know how bad our arguments can get. And the person I turn into when we start arguing is somebody I don't like no more than the person she turned into when we were arguing. So I'm not for any of that, and so on and so forth. So I don't know, man. If anything, I think this was just something I kind of wanted to get off my chest and talk to anybody about this. No, I should have communicated better what my boundaries were, and then made sure I nipped those in the bud when she started crossing those lines. So that's a mistake I made. And ultimately, what I've also come to terms with over these last 3 days is I don't have any interest in being with her. I think all of the issues that I'm having come from old pain that wasn't fixed, ego that feels ruptured, And so because that is what's going on here, I'm like, well, how much of this should I actually be giving any thought at all? Given the fact that I do not want to be with this person, given the fact she does not want to be with me. And really all the stuff that I'm struggling with is stuff that should have been dealt with years ago. So given the fact that all this is present, it's like, well, what does she bring into the friendship? If anything, it just seems like she's coming over here to see how I'm doing, realizes I'm not doing well, and is trying to poke me with more of what would otherwise make me feel worse. Now, she says it's not her intention, but that's what is the result of what's taking place. So, I just roll with the punches in life. At this point in time, You know, I understand that there's a lot of confusion in regards to the feelings and the hurt, but you know, at the end of the day, you just got to stay true to what it is that you want. And what I don't want is to go backwards. What I don't want is to rope anybody into my madness, which is what I think this era is about for me, complete and utter madness. And you know, I'm hoping that I can gain something that has nothing to do with being in a relationship right now. I'm trying to obtain certain things within myself that allow me to be the person I can be in a relationship. I ain't there yet, so that seems like a distraction to me. Her entire presence in my life at this time feels like a distraction, and it feels like a lie, because whatever it is that's actually driving her to be here probably doesn't have anything to do with my mental health. Either she's not being honest about it, or she's not aware of what it is. And to be honest with you, I'm just not in a space where I want to closely interact with people who are not ready to dig deep in that way and figure out why they're doing certain things, or people who would rather me feel like I'm not whatever it is that she thinks I am when calling, so that she can feel better about herself, I guess, in the presence of speaking to me. You know what I mean? So I don't know what her issue is. Maybe it's exactly what she says it is. Maybe she's just obsessive about people who she feels are ill or need help. Maybe she's scared that if she doesn't constantly hound me, then I'm gonna do something. But I told her if that were the case, you're about 7 months too late because I've well past my most difficult times. If anything, I'm in a place of great peace. And to be honest with all of you, she's disrupted that. So that's pretty much what I gotta say, man. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching my therapy session. I'm out.